Hey everyone and welcome back. Now in the earlier video we went ahead and we created our first EC2 instance in AWS. Now in that video I wanted to show you an interesting thing on how you can also create your first website on top of that EC2 instance. Now because that video duration was a bit long, I decided that we'll split it into two parts. So in today's video, we'll look into the second part of creating our first website. Now, the aim of today's video is that we'll have our website on top of EC2 instance, and once the website is up and running, then any user from the internet will be able to open up the website that we have available. So that is the aim. So let's do one thing. Let's quickly get started and look into it. So currently I am logged into our EC2 instance, and the first thing that we'll do is we'll switch to the root user. So if you're coming from the Windows background, in Windows you have the administrator user who typically has a lot of permissions. Similarly in Linux you have a root user who has the highest permissions. So this is the reason why we switched to the root user. Now the next thing that we'll do is we'll download a special software that will allow us to host our website in EC2 instance or in a Linux box basically. So in order to do that, you have to run a command called as yum install nginx. Alright, so when you run this command, you will get a message something similar to this, which states that to run this specific command, which is Amazon Linux Extras, and then you have the version of the software that we want to install. So in my case, it is Nginx 1.12. However, a new version always keeps on releasing, so it might be 1.13 in your case. Alright, however, the basic syntax remains the same. So let's copy this up and I'll paste it, and then let's also copy this up over here, and do not forget this install one. So let's quickly add this up. Alright, so this is the command. Let's press enter, and now it is basically installing a Nginx software within your Linux box. Now for those who are coming from Mac background, if in fact if you want to install something in Mac, then you make use of brew. So you do brew install. In case if you are coming from Windows background, then we download the setup.exe and we double click on the setup. Similarly for Linux, we make use of yum install command if you want to download certain software packages. Great, so our Nginx installation has completed. Let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and verify if the Nginx is up and running or not. So currently you see that the Nginx software is within the inactive state. That basically means that it is not running. So now what you can do is you can go ahead and you can start the Nginx. Alright, so once you have started the Nginx, if you quickly do a netstat-ntlp command over here, you would see that you have a Nginx process which is running on port 80. In a similar way, you also have a SSH process that is listening on port 22. And this is one of the reasons why we had port 22 within our security group that was open. Now let me quickly show you that. So within the security group, if you click on view inbound rule, you will see that you have a port 22 which is open for the internet. So when you do 000/0, that basically means that allow from the entire world. Alright. So in a similar way, for the website, you have a port 80 which is used. So what you need to do is you have to allow port 80 also within the security group. So let's do one thing. Within the inbound rule, you will have to add port 80. However, before we do that, let me quickly show you what happens when you do not do that. So when you just copy the public IP, and from a new tab, when you add that IP within the browser, you see nothing is happening. It is not able to connect to the website over here. So let's do one thing. Let's go back to our security group, let's click on edit inbound rule. And what we need to do is we have to add one more rule. So if you'll typically see here, it states that the site cannot be reached, primarily because the security group or a firewall is blocking it. So what we'll do, we'll add port 80 within the port range, and within the source block over here, we'll go ahead and add 0000/0. Alright, so this is the CIDR that we want to add. And once you have done that, you can go ahead and click on save changes. So you should have two inbound rules that are available, one for SSH and second for the HTTP, which is used for website. Now once you have added that, and if you click on refresh, you see you have received a default welcome to Nginx. So this is a default web page that is available. So now let's do one thing, let's go ahead and modify it. So within our Linux server, the web page is stored in a folder within this path, which is user share nginx html. And if you do a ls over here, you see that there is a file called as index.html. And in fact, let me quickly show you this file. Now if you see over here, all of these HTML content that you see over here, this HTML content is basically reflecting this specific architecture of the website that you are seeing within the browser. So now let's do one thing. What we'll do is we'll create a very simple page. I'll say echo, and within the message I'll say I am Zeal and this is my first website, and I'll store this message to index.html file. Alright, so what this command does, this command basically copies this contents into the index.html file, and before copying it will remove whatever existing content which was there as part of the index.html. So if you do a cat on index.html, here you see that you only have one line that is available. So now if you refresh, you will see that you are seeing a message, I am Zeal and this is my first website. So anyone who has this specific IP address throughout the internet will be able to see this specific message. Now again, this is a very simple thing. If you know HTML, CSS, you can design a much more better website over here. Great. So that's the high level overview about how you can go ahead and create your first website in AWS. Now again, the Linux commands that we were running in today's video, you do not have to remember them for the exams. So those are something that we are using for our learning purposes. So that's about it for today's video. I hope this video has been informative for you and I look forward to see you in the next video.